Yeah, if they want to.
Did you want to?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. It's Captain Mike Bland from Media Relations Division. As I discussed earlier with you guys, the chief has agreed to give you an update on the tragedy at the Reiner family home. Just understand this is based on some updates of the tireless work of our investigators from last night and through tonight. We're still at the very early stages of this investigation, but again, Chief's prepared to answer any questions and give you a brief update. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you, Captain Bland. As he said, the information at this stage is still limited, but I'll share what we can. First of all, our hearts go out to the family and friends of the Reiners, a tragic incident. Yesterday at December 14th, about 3:40 in the afternoon, LAPD responded to a residence, the residence of Rob and Michele Reiner, located in West Los Angeles Division. At that location, they found two deceased adults, a male and a female. Through the night, working with the coroner's office, they were able to identify them definitively as Rob and Michele Reiner. We have our robbery homicide division handling the investigation. They worked throughout the night on this case and were able to take into custody Nick Reiner, a suspect in this case. He was subsequently booked for murder and is being held on $4 million bail. Pretty much that's what I can share at this point, but again, a very, very tragic incident.
Can you talk about, I know Deputy Hamilton talked about the search warrant and how important that was because of something inside. Can you talk about where that played a role in this and what you guys needed in order to gain access?
Yeah, you know, we use search warrants to be able to further our investigation, as you know, on all of these cases. I wouldn't be in a position to talk specifically about what the object of the search warrant was, but it's a critical piece of our investigations to be able to ensure down the road a prosecution. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Hello, gossipers. As I reported this morning, when it comes to actress-director Rob Reiner, his son has been arrested and is on a $4 million bond, right? So we're going to give you the latest updates, and this is from CNN. So what we need to know right now is that Nick Reiner is responsible, allegedly, I'm still going to use the word allegedly, for the death of his parents, legendary Hollywood director Rob Reiner and producer Michelle Singer Reiner, Los Angeles police said. The couple's daughter discovered them both in their Brentwood home yesterday, according to a source. The 32-year-old son was seen having an argument with his father at a holiday party Saturday at Conan O'Brien's home, according to a source familiar with the incident. He was booked on suspicion of murder and is currently being held without bail. Rob Reiner's prolific work included directing When Ally Met Sally, The Princess Bride, and A Few Good Men, including one of my all-time favorites, Stand By Me. Love, love, love. So let's see about this argument. So it says that Nick was having an argument with his father at a holiday party Saturday night at Conan O'Brien's Los Angeles home, right? His mom, Michelle Singer Reiner, was also in attendance. It is saying, elaborated. Okay, let's read right here. It says, Rick Reiner is responsible for his parents' death. Authorities have not elaborated on how the victims died or how investigators determined their son was responsible. Now, TMZ is saying that their throats were slashed, right? And they were stabbed. It says Nick Reiner, 32, is being held without bail. Jail records previously indicated he was held on a $4 million bail, but it seems like that's not true. So he's not on any bail. It says it is unclear if Nick Reiner has retained an attorney. CNN has reached out to the Reiner family spokesperson for comments. This is what happened Sunday. It said around 3:40 p.m. Sunday, The couple arrived at their home around 3:40 p.m. and eventually they were victims of an homicide. Nick was found and arrested around 9:15 p.m., police said. So the same day he was found later in the night. So this was yesterday, December 14th. Says the case will be presented to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office for filing consideration Tuesday, police said. So Tuesday they will see what's going on. So they're saying that Nick, he has a lot of problems. He's a drug addict. I'm gonna use the word allegedly. I've heard that they've spent a lot of money trying to get this kid or this man to rehab centers, everything like that. And for him to turn around and do this, and they're, even comparing it to the Menendez brothers, because, the Menendez brothers, they unalived their parents, mom and dad, and they were saying it's because they were being sexually abused by the father. Some believe it, some don't, but within this case with Nick, looking at his picture now, he just looks like a totally different person than he was when he was with his father. I think it's 2016 when they worked on a movie together. I'm going to see if I can find that clip of the movie and put it in for you to see, and I'll show you what he looks like now compared to what he looked like then. So they're saying that the daughter, she walked in and found her parents. I can only imagine the trauma that she is going through. So her name is Romy Reiner. The daughter was the person who discovered her parents after they were attacked at their Brentwood home yesterday, according to a source familiar with the incident. Now, I'm not a big believer of these, sources, because sources can be yourself reporting on something and you don't know if it's true or not. But they call, stations like TMZ, People Magazine, those are reputable news stations, so people will more likely to believe them, right? So before they telling us that it was the daughter, says that it was reported that a family members of the Reiners went to the house and discovered 2 dead people, but now we're seeing it's the daughter. And I think they said that when the daughter, again, during sources, that the daughter said that someone from the family did it, but at the time we did not know who, until, everything came out that most likely it's the son. As we know, he's been arrested. So I would think, he's the one who's responsible for the killing of his parent. And, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say. It's like, you don't know if when your kids, when they're in a space of addiction and just being unruly, will they come after you if you don't give them what they want? Right? Because you hear a lot of stories with kids unaliving parents, grandparents, because they couldn't have their ways, right? But to see that if it's true about the slash of the neck, that is brutal. That is, oh my gosh, I can only imagine. Until more story comes out where they were when they were found, were they sleeping in the bedroom, maybe they were in the family room, and it sounds like they were alone. There was no other family around, just the 2 of them in their home. And for them to go out like this at the hands of a child you try to help, protect, but then he's grown, he's 32, and if you're not willing to get help, sometimes people just have to, you don't want to say turn their backs on you, but for their own mental health, it's good to distance yourself from said person if they don't want the help they're trying to give you. And Hollywood is pouring in. They showed Billy Crystal was there with his wife, and just everyone is in shock. And then you have Donald Trump, just a nasty, evil man. So this is what he had to say. He said Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away together with his wife Michele, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS, Trump said, referring to a term used primarily by Trump supporters to describe those who harbor a deep dislike of or criticism for Trump. Now, how do you make a statement like that? Now, you have people coming out, Republicans talking against Trump, that's not nice, but Trump he's holding up. He's like, he's not taking anything away. And this is a grown-ass man. Trump is what, like 79? And he behaves like a kid in kindergarten. Majority of the kids in kindergarten, too, is not like Trump. And no one can take this man down. No one can remove this man from office, even with all the stuff he's accused of. Jeffrey Epstein, photos came out showing him with girls and partying with Epstein. And nothing. Anyway, so back to Rob and his wife Michele. Rest in peace, and that son, I don't know. Right now, we know there's something mental. No one can say that he did it and he just felt like doing it. No, something had to be wrong with him mentally. Because we know he's a drug addict, allegedly. Seems like he might have been on something to such a vicious death for your parents. He was a party, big argument blew. Will we ever know what the argument was about? Maybe, because if people were around, they heard stuff. But then to leave and go, Anyway, so I'm going to leave you with the interview that he did with his son on a movie I think they worked on together. Take a look.
Kid is going through rough times. The parent your main job is to keep your child safe. So I would do anything.
We didn't bond a lot as a kid. Like, he really liked baseball. I like basketball, and he could watch that with my brother, but baseball. But I just, when I saw him do that, and it was something that I'm interested in, I was like, wow, like, he really knows a lot, and like, it made me feel closer to him and be like, yeah.
You're like, wow, my dad's Rob Reiner.
I never had thought about it, and then
it didn't cross your mind, right?
Never.
No.
Never watched A Few Good Men. Didn't see that one.
No.
What was the most difficult part about working together for the two of you?
It wasn't very tough. I mean, it was a pretty nice experience for me. I don't really think it was like tough at all.
Really?
I mean, of course it was a little bit, but
I mean, we did get into fights over things, but ultimately it forced us to make the film better. I mean, we get into issues, and I would see, he would. The whole process for me, I can just speak for myself, it did make me understand him a lot more, and I think it made me a better father. Hopefully it did.
I think the bonding came not from the story itself, but from the fact that we were working on a movie together.